my fellow comic book collectors. Today is Halloween. Ooh. I was thinking of doing something scary originally, where I jump out or do something to scare you all, but instead I brought Mark.
Well, okay. Thanks, Alan. Yeah, that's scary enough, isn't it?
Yeah, so what we're going to do is we're going to show some scary comics and have some fun. And yeah, we're going to show five comics on this channel and five comics on Mark's channel. So it's a whole bunch, like that's like 20 cool horror related comics. So it should be pretty fun.
Yeah, because last year Alan made me do 7 weeks of Halloween. Okay.
Yeah, I love Halloween.
So I deliberately went away to Spain for 4 weeks, so he couldn't make me do it again this year. So we're going to have cram all our Halloween stuff into 2 shows. So it should be pretty good.
Okay. Yeah, okay. So I'm going to let you go first. Show your first Halloween horror related comic.
Okay, so this is one of these big special sized comics, collector's edition. And it is a collector's edition of House of Mystery.
Oh, nice.
Which I love the cover on this. So it's got the sort of spooky guy with the eyes, with a hand, with lots of little kids around here going, "Here, kiddies."
Yeah. That's such a like it, or that kind of.
Yeah, well, this of course was before it. So
oh yeah.
This was earlier than that. I mean, this is just fantastic. I mean, this is what I think Halloween should be about. It's how it is now, isn't it? It's sort of a bit scary, but also a bit fun. I mean, this has got Sergio Aragonés stuff in it and cartoons. It's got you can get the gargoyle out and create a diorama. I love these great big mystery ones. They're sort of
I thought I saw that same cover on a smaller edition. Is it just
no, I don't think it is. I don't think it is. One of the things, you get great double spreads like this,
oh wow.
With a sort of a cat, being a pussy cat on one side and then being an Egyptian goddess on the other. It's really great.
That's nice.
We get some cartoons, really good. So I really like these big ones like this, but they're not popular because you can't slab them. So of course
they don't fit into the long boxes either.
They don't fit into boxes, so they're generally not in very good condition, and because you can't slab them, collectors don't particularly like them, so they're not particularly valuable. So but I like them. I've got quite a few of these.
Yeah, and they're hard to bag and board. Like
really difficult. Yeah,
hard to get bags that size.
Yeah,
but that's really cool. I always like those ones where they kind of lure you in. You don't know what you're to expect either because it's like hidden in the shadows.
Yeah,
it's great.
I'm here, kiddie wink.
Yeah, I'm going to be strictly pre-code horror with all the stuff.
Oh, okay, that's good because most of mine's not pre-code, Colin.
So yeah, all mine's going to be pre-code horror. We're going to start out with one of those things that scares people, like usually it's something related to death, and in this one, it's really well done. It's kind of like your own death, like where they're kind of burying you alive, kind of idea.
Oh yeah, that's a really good one. Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, it's Witch's Tales number 27, and it's like that thing, like because you're in that perspective of the guy in the grave, right?
His point of view, I think they call it. So
yeah, point of view. Yeah, so you're in that point of view, and it looks like you're getting buried alive on the cover. So it's quite cool. Got the typical, looks like a grave robber kind of style guy, and he's burying the person alive. So it's it's kind of cool. I kind of like those things where they bring you into the horror. You know what I mean? Like, so I think that's kind of cool. And just in case,
of course, that's a classic. Being buried alive is, one of the.
Yeah. And also, just as a bonus, they put a skull. Pre-code horror without a skull, it doesn't work. You got to have that skull. It has a little candle on top too. They always do that kind of silly thing. So yeah, so this is Witches Tales 27. And yeah, really great series, by the way, of horror related comics is Witches Tales. And the great thing about it is most of them are fairly affordable. Like you could pick that copy up $100, $200.
Okay, that's pretty.
For pre-code
That's pretty
horror,
good.
that's
Yeah, yeah, that's pretty
yeah.
good. Yeah,
You know, there's a few in the run that's like thousands of
yeah.
dollars, but there's a lot of really affordable issues, and that's one of them.
Okay,
So yeah, that's my first one to show.
okay.
So,
Right, I'm going to show next. My next one is a few. It's all the same thing, but different. It's sort of Night of the Living Dead, but through the ages.
okay,
So Night of the
okay.
Living Dead. This is a little poster thing that I picked up last year for one of our shows last year. The poster of
Oh,
the
nice.
a poster of the original George A. Romero's Night of the Living Dead. Um, so
One of my favorite movies.
yeah, really great horror movie. If you've got to watch this each Halloween at least once. A
Mm-hmm.
really good movie, and I've got a few comments. There's one. This one. This one dates from about 1988. It's been up in my attic forever, and it's just sort of black and white Night of the Living.
Nice.
And the black and white, of course, makes it even more atmospheric and spooky.
That's really cool.
Yeah. And then I've got one from Avatar. They did a Night of the Living Dead series, and I just like this cover because it's really gory and zombie.
Yeah. Wow.
And then
That's
finally, there's one just out this week. I went to my comic shop on, I think it was Thursday or Friday, and they got new comics in. And lo and behold, we've got a Night of the Living Dead 1. And it's got a still on it from the original movie as the cover.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So there we go. Night of the Living Dead keeps on giving. There you go. That was in my new one with a still from the original film on the cover.
Yeah, that is really great. Um, they didn't have to make that movie black and white, but they chose to for artistic reasons, and it really worked. It was a really great movie.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, one of my favorites. I love the way it ends. It's just great all the way through.
I agree.
Do you remember how it ends? Yeah, it's just
I watched it last
spoiler.
year. I did watch
zombie.
it. I can't remember how it ends. The zombies take over.
Really? Okay, so the black, yeah, no, the black guy, he basically is the cool guy in the whole movie, and he survives till the end.
Yeah.
So you're like, oh, he made it, and then there's guys coming in, they're killing all the zombies, and it looks like he's gonna get his salvation, and they're just like shooting, like the guys that are coming are kind of like these good old boys, and they're just shooting anything that moves that isn't one of them. So he comes out, he's all covered in blood and stuff. He's like, because he's been in battle with these zombies all night. And they think he's a zombie. Boom! They just shoot him and just move on. So it's just like
hero dead.
Yeah, hero dead. That's it. So it's a great movie. I love that movie. I'm going to show you another. I was thinking, do I bring lots of books of one particular series, or do I just show one book from each series? I might, because you just showed a bunch of books. You kind of got me again. So, okay. So I'm going to show a bunch of books later, but first I'm going to show this one. Actually, I'll take it out of my lab. This is Nightmare.
Okay. All right.
And it's kind of like, I don't know, like a hell situation or something. Like you got like people hanging, like bodies hanging
through a window or looking into. Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, he's kind of looking through bars or something, like he's in a cage or something. And you got like people being tortured and stuff.
Oh, lovely, yeah.
Yeah, this is another series. I kind of picked a bunch of series that were underrated, and this is one of the ones that's underrated. Is Nightmare. It's by Ziff Davis, I believe, or St. John's. Sorry, St. John's. And it's just like one of those ones where this is a Joe Kubert cover. This series is so underrated. so wonderful. You can pick it up really, really cheaply. But there is one cover that's expensive. I believe it's number 13, which is a Matt Baker cover.
Okay.
I had that as well, but
I'm surprised. Did you say that was Andy Kubert? I'm surprised that isn't worth something then, because he's a good artist.
Yeah, he's a famous artist, Joe Kubert.
Yeah.
And just a kind of classic, kind of torture horror related comic.
Yeah.
And it's just, it's nightmare, like typical. So it's it's got everything going on with it. It's a lot of bondage and boiling pot and stuff, torture devices. But it's a great series because it's really affordable. Anywhere from, again, that $100 to $200 range for Golden Age pre-code horror stuff. That's a pretty great deal. So I think I picked up number 1 for $100.
Okay.
From the series, just to give you a sense.
Nice, very good.
Okay,
so I'm going to show you some UK. I'm not sure it's pre-code horror, but it's late 50s. So it's 1950s, early 1960s.
Okay.
These are all from a company called L. Miller and Son, who sort of predated Alan Class. So
nice.
They were sort of late 40s through the 50s into the early 60s. And it was originally L. Miller, which was Leonard Miller, and then his son came along, and then it was called L. Miller and Son. And then his son broke away and started doing, how shall I say this, naturist movies.
Oh, man.
Dad did not approve. And so it went back. So the son came off the name of the comic groups again. Right. So
wow.
Anyway, so they did a whole range of sort of horror stuff in 50s, early 60s. And this is, I was really pleased to pick this up. This is really quite rare. One of their titles is called Zombie.
Okay.
We've got Zombie number 1 in pretty decent condition from L. Miller and Son. And I love the colours on this, the sort of fluorescent pinks and yellows. And,
very odd choice of colours.
Yeah, and it's called Port of Terror. And it's obviously, no, you can't get away. It's obviously as one. Another title they had was called Voodoo.
I know Voodoo as well. I knew Zombie and Voodoo. Yeah.
Here's Voodoo number 4, again in really nice condition, and this is a werewolf cover.
Oh wow!
We've got a werewolf on here. Good Lord, nothing destroys that monster. It will kill us all. Yes. Another title they had was called Mystic, and this is actually a reproduction of one of Jack Kirby's monster covers.
Nice.
I don't know if you can.
Oh yeah. It looks like Tales to Astonish.
One of those. An early Tales to Astonish, I think. Yeah. I Was Hunted by X, the thing that lived, and the fourth L. Miller title in the same sort of genre was called Spellbound, and I just love this cover because of the colours. And this is number 63 of Spellbound, and again we've got these fluorescent. This is the 60s, so we fluorescent colours and the sort of
very odd color choice.
I know this guy is being attacked by worms, and they're sort of fluorescent pink ones. So there we go. There's 4 sort of horror titles from L. Miller and Son before his son went into other activities.
But yeah, I mean, I wouldn't have chosen those colors. Not really capturing horror that well. It just doesn't, like, I'm not scared of fluorescent pink. It's not like something I'm like have nightmares about. But
I can only assume the printer had got some cheap inks from somewhere.
Yeah.
And said, look, hey Leonard, I can do your deal.
You don't mind the fluorescent pink. Yeah. Oh well. Okay, so that was very interesting. Okay. I want to now show you a master of horror. At least, well, in terms of the pre-code horror, this guy's, some of his covers command the biggest money. If And this is a pretty expensive book. So I showed some affordable ones,
See that one.
and this is getting not so affordable.
Yeah.
This is Terrifying Tales number 13. I like collecting books where it's pre-code horror and number 13. It's a weird thing to me. But yeah, this one is that it just has everything for like pre-code horror. It has the girl in bondage.
Yeah.
Like in bondage.
Yeah, it's got
you got the devil figure, you got like the flames going on, you got all these kind of voodoo like priests and priestesses, and just it's like the death fire, it's just really kind of cool.
I mean, that almost looks like a movie poster, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. It's really quite great.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the thing that's really cool, this is Star Publications, or Star Comics, I should say. And basically, L.B. Cole, he was working for a different company, like Novelty Press, I believe it was. And he basically bought the rights to a lot of like Fox publications and other like publications. And so what he would do is, he's a brilliant artist. So, he didn't want to just reprint the books. So what he would do is create his own covers for them.
Okay.
And then the interiors would be reprinted. But he would do these amazing covers because he knew what sold, right?
Well, that's what gets you the sale, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah. So
especially on a newsstand, somebody walking past the newsstand and they'll go, "Oh, I'll go." Right.
Yeah, I mean, this would stand out. Yeah. This would be like pretty cool. So and this was like 1953. So if you look at the books around 1953 and 1954 in terms of pre-code horror, those were the most extreme covers.
They knew what was coming.
Yeah, it's just things are they're just one-upping each other every week, and it's like the code is coming. Because there's a reason for it, because they're kind of going a little extreme. But this was, this is one of the more tame ones actually. But it is, it's got that devil and the fire. I think it's just, really fun cover. So, yeah, so that's, that's my third one.
Okay. My next one is,
let's see some more from you.
Okay. My next one is I picked these up recently, and they are a Marvel horror title that I hadn't really come across before. And I managed to find issue 1. It's called Chamber of Darkness.
Nice.
And this got quite a nice cover. And this guy with the hat is presenting. He's one of these with a presenter. With an anthology. And so that's number 1. But one of the reasons I like this is I picked up a few other copies, and it got Bernie Wrightson covers.
Oh, nice.
Issue number 7, Night of the Gargoyle. That is a Bernie Wrightson cover. In fact, you can probably see down there it says Wrightson.
Wrightson, yeah. Usually just signs it Wrightson, yeah.
1970. And also number 8 is actually my favourite cover. I love this cover. And this again is another Bernie Wrightson cover, The Beast That Walks Like a Man. And
nice.
Yeah. Really, this is Wrightson at his peak, I think. 1970. So yeah, really happy to have found those. I think they're great looking covers.
Yeah, no, those were quite fun.
Yeah. So Night of the Gargoyle and The Beast That Walks Like a Man, Chamber of Darkness. Seek them out. Chamber of Darkness 7 and 8. They'll be they're not dollar bin comics, but you can probably pick them up for 5 to 10.
Yeah, 10, 15.
Yeah.
Kind of.
Yeah. So nice little series there.
Yeah, I mean, those and those would be probably like Bronze Age books, right?
1970. Yeah, so
yeah. So it's like for some reason horror kind of made a comeback in the 70s. It's like maybe it's a 20-year cycle where horror, I don't know, but it was like there was a lot of really great stuff that came out in the 70s. I actually have a short box devoted to 70s Bronze Age horror. So yeah. Okay, I'm debating. I'm gonna grab some other books just because you're kind of showing a lot of stuff. So I'm gonna kind of grab a bunch of books in the back. Yeah. And so I'm gonna show you another one. This is my favorite cover from the series. This is I've shown this series many times on my channel. This
Oh
is
yeah,
Ghost Comics.
yeah, yeah.
All the covers were done by Maurice Whitman, and this is my favorite because it's got all the classic elements that I like, like big girl in lingerie. Like, but it's basically the situation where and it might be hard to see, but
I can see a floating head there.
yeah, you see a floating head, and coming down from him are all these like strings, and basically he's controlling her nightmares.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so
Yeah,
there's like little figures,
yeah,
and they're really just her, and he's basically manipulating them.
yeah, yeah. Okay.
So it's sort of like he's like the nightmare
Yeah,
controller thing. I think it even says that. Woke in terror, four phantom spies can't die. I don't know, but he is like sort of like this phantom puppet master. Okay,
nice.
like controlling your nightmares. And I'll show you some more from that series since you
Yeah,
showed
yeah,
a bunch of
yeah, 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 yeah.
them. So we got Ghost Comics number 11.
These are really nice. Do you say they're all the same artist, Maurice Whitman?
All the same artist for the covers. And they have some really cool covers. Like this one, you got the demon and the
Oh
skeleton.
yeah,
And
that's great. I
yeah,
think I prefer. I think that's my favorite actually. I like that one.
uh, there's some pretty cool ones. And this one's really great too. Like, look at this cover. The
Oh yeah.
girl's in bondage, the girl in the red dress. You got all these kind of horror figures along the side. I'm not sure if you can see that.
Yeah, I can. Yeah.
And you got the hero, he's getting squished. He's like getting stuff's falling on top of him. And then this one's kind of interesting. I wish mine was a better grade, but you got the woman, and she's in this kind of polka dot dress.
Yeah.
And then you got it looks like some kind of voodoo doll.
Yeah. Oh right. Yeah. Which
And it's her with the same dress. And you got some demon hand holding it, which is
yeah.
kind of cool.
Yeah.
So just like, and then you got this kind of shadowy figure up here. Kind of cool. It's just so many little details in these covers. It just really, really great. Like I got the whole series. This is my one that's like a filler. It's like the low grade copy, but a really great series. Really great series. It's actually one series that was really hot last year, and in a way that's kind of good
Yeah.
because it kind of the prices went through the roof,
Yeah.
and now we're having that price correction,
Okay.
and the prices have really dropped. So you
Oh,
can pick those books up fairly like more affordably than than they were last year. They've kind of overcorrected,
yeah.
so you can pick them up a little bit more affordably. So really great series to pick up now. I would recommend people pick it up now because
Okay.
it's not normal that it overcorrects that much. So it's like a really good time to pick them up. And I find that Golden Age is kind of regaining its traction again. So this is a good time where you're kind of at
Time
that
to
low.
get in. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Right. My last one is a modern comic. It's contrast to yours. I think some great modern horror stuff.
Yeah.
My favorite modern horror series. It's been coming out over the last couple of years. It's called Silver Coin.
Oh yes, that's a great one.
Same artist throughout, but a different writer writes each story. It started last year. This was the first one. And a story by Chip Zdarsky in issue 1.
Great writer.
Michael Walsh is the artist throughout. And there's been some I mean, they're variable, but there's been some great ones in this series, and that was absolutely horrific one recently from James Tinian. This one was really good by Ram V. This was a gambling one set in Las Vegas, called Temperance. No, Temperance? Oh no, not Temperance. Tazumpanko. I don't know what that means. And then you've got there's one here which was about a cleaner cleaning up body parts.
Oh wow.
So
that's pretty gruesome.
It is a bit gruesome, isn't it? Yeah. So you're just showing modern comics can compete with those golden age ones of yours.
Yeah. I mean, that would have been on the like a SOTI kind of
Yeah, yeah.
mention, honorable
That
mention.
would have got a mention, wouldn't it? Some
Yeah,
eyeballs floating there in the cleaning bucket.
yeah.
So yeah, if you like your horror and you like your horror strong and you've got a strong stomach, then Silver Coin I would recommend as a modern horror.
Yeah, some really great stories in it too. I just and they all kind of relate to the silver coin.
Yeah.
Which
There's
is
a
kind of
silver coin that connects them all.
yeah. So that's a really great one. Okay. My last one, and I'll just show a couple books from it, is this is one where it's kind of like a mixture of superhero and horror.
Okay.
And I've mentioned this series before. It's one that it also mixes in Scooby Doo, and you probably can guess from that. This is Phantom Stranger.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Okay, so very Scooby Doo like stories, but just a really great one. This is I love when there's like the 13. So this is they're in car 13 and it's going off the rails. It's like the typical thing, and you got this phantom creature guy there, and Phantom Stranger is a character that in the golden age he was more like a crime, like a paranormal investigator. Whereas, later on they kind of made him a little bit more
Yeah, in
like
Silver Age,
superhero.
he becomes paranormal. He becomes a sort of
Yeah,
supernatural being. Yeah.
yeah. So this is number 6, I believe, or number 5, and I brought number 6 as well. So
Yeah.
this is with the big hand. That's another trope where you got the door and the evil hand is trying to grab at you and stuff
It's a
like
giant
that.
hand cover. There we go.
Yeah, it's a giant hand cover. Yeah, exactly. So this is just a really great series. It's only 6 issues. Very hard to find.
I was going to say, of all the ones you've shown, those are the ones I'm most jealous of because I've got virtually a full set of
Of
the
them,
second
like
series. Yeah.
second series. Yeah. So I mean, it's a really quite hard to find, and generally they go for big money when you find them, because they just don't come up very often. You just don't see them.
Well, they'll be rare. Yeah.
Yeah, really rare. Like I don't know why so rare, but yeah, but really rare. Really rare. Okay, so that's the last in my set. And yeah, it's been fun. We gotta do some more on your channel.
We are.
We're gonna do 5 more, which might work out to being about 100 more books, based on the fact that you're showing like a whole bunch every time. You told me bring 5 books, Alan, and I'm like, I actually tried to stay to that, and then you sort of showed like a bunch. You forced me to show a bunch.
It's for sort of 5-ish
books.
5-ish.
So we're going to show 5-ish books on Mark's channel. Go over there, check it out. It should be fun. Okay, thanks, Mark.
See you, Alan.